How's it going? This is Grixon. 22 Necrotic Wake timed, and so I make some mistakes, but I do some good pulls as well. One big mistake here is in the very beginning. I was targeting one of these leaping kind of guys, like these soldiers here that can jump. You can't death strike when something leaps away. Or maybe it's the bags. It's the bags or soldiers, either way. So I go big, right? I'm going for big air. And this is a pull I can do. So there's a few ways I can mitigate this issue. Threat is fine. Kicks, fine. So let's talk about this real quick. Here's a few things. Look at my bone shield stacks. That's bad. We don't like that. That's bad. So I'm using super strain, which is it's good, but I would have been far more comfortable with dancing crimson rune weapon because see, my target was a bag and it jumped. So there's a few things here. Dancing rune could have been huge here because that is a lot less runes I'm spending on bone shield stacks, and I'm just far more comfortable with it. So I die again, right? We just let this whole thing reset. Another thing I could have done, I could have asked for a spirit link. Like,
My fault, I guess.
see,
I never know when I'm supposed to spam heal you or not anymore.
yeah, Archie's like my fault, but it's really not. Like, as the tank and in Discord, I should be calling for the link, right? If I have nothing left and I'm about to go down, well, I had stuff left in the tank, but I had the wrong target. So targeting is a big deal. Having some way to see what you're targeting is huge if you can make it work better. Targeting is a big deal. Calling, if you have a healer in Discord, call what you need. And, you know, Super Strain is great. However, I am far more comfortable with Crimson Rune Weapon, and I feel like I wouldn't have gone down there if I would have had it. So a few aspects there. The pull, I don't think was an issue. It was more of, you know what I mean? It was more of all these other variables that, one, I've changed the legendary, which I'm going back to Crimson Rune Weapon on Crimson on progression keys. Like, that's just gonna happen. I really dislike having to spend so many runes on bone shield stacks. I feel like that really gimps me because I'm not freeing myself up with the Crimson Rune giving me extra bone shield stacks, and I'm not getting that runic haste at the end either. Like, these are all things I'm so used to that my gameplay has kind of just evolved around as I've gotten better. My brain automatically thinks, oh, it's okay if I'm out of runes right here. I'm just going to get a bunch of them to off cooldown real quick. It doesn't happen with Super Strain. So if you're way more comfortable with Super Strain, it does more damage and you're going to get a lot of runic power from it too. Do it, please, by all means. It's not bad. It's very good. It just was not working for me in a key like this. So we had two big wipes there, which is not good. You know, they were asking, like, is this rip? Is the key over? It's not. It's the very beginning. And we did kill some packs out of it. Like, it wasn't great, but it wasn't worst case. And I'm going to blame a lot of this. I'm going to blame a lot of this on my targeting, which I need something that highlights what I'm targeting better. I need to tweak around my player profile, and then I want to use the legendary I am the most comfortable with. I don't want to start a blood DK nerd fest, you know, slam on which one's better. They're both really good. I don't know, I was curious. I wanted to try it out. I wanted to try Super Strain to see how much I really liked it on Venthyr. Yeah, I don't. That's what it is. I don't like it. On the only thing I like it on is, as I say this all the time, I only like it on Necrolord because I get bone shield stacks elsewhere. I find it very valuable to save 2 to 4 runes in a pull by just pressing a button that costs no runes. I like that so much more. And I like having all the parry, and I like the runic haste at the end of it. It's very tailored to my style of play. With Super Strain, I feel like you have to kite a bit more. Like, not a lot of kiting, but I don't know. I feel like you can't just sit there and take the punishment as much. Or maybe I'm just bad at playing Super Strain. When I'm playing a DK, a lot of times I want to just like hold my ground and heal through it and just feel like this big tanking like beast. And I don't feel that way when I'm, Super Strain. That was a big rant on legendaries. People who watch my channel know my preferences usually. Alright. All of that's out of the way. So I like to grab the spear. If it's a week that allows this, it is great. It is very efficient. I'll show you what I'm talking about. This fight is hard. This fight is hard. These things are deceptively hard. They hurt way more than you think they will, and most people don't have cooldowns up yet. So the fight ends up taking a long time, or they don't have cooldowns up yet, or they're saving them all for the boss. So this pack lasts a long time. Those throw flushes hurt. These soldiers jump behind you and hit you in the back too, so you can't parry them sometimes. Oh man, it is so rough. I get spoiled with Archies. Like, shamans are great. I love shamans. They do good damage, and they have spirit link. They have a lot of utility that is just amazing. However, I've gotten so used to having a cheat death. Oh man, via Archie's wings when he's on his priest. There's so many times I can let myself play a little sloppy, and then like, especially if I have wings, I just know I'm not gonna die. So I'm dropping 14. Sometimes I get up to like 20k. Okay, so check this out. You get the buff. You pull this guy. You get this. Jump up here. I do it kind of awkwardly. Get all this. Pop my instant snap threat button, and then I do Gorfine's Grass to get them all together. Spear right through them all. If you didn't know this, the spear travels. Oh, it's a spear, right? You throw it. But the thing is, everything that you throw the spear through gets hit with the damage. So if the boss is at the end of the line and you throw that spear, it's going to hit all the minions, all the mobs up to him. So if you look, Kyrian weapon damage, like 95k, 100k it was at DPS. And so how this boss works, see how Archie is going over there and then coming through? That's how it's supposed to go. You're supposed to travel this guy in a line the most predictable way you can. Don't do any like weird spiral stuff. Just make it as predictable as possible. So when someone gets the wretched belch or whatever it's called, they can run behind the boss, drop it, and then come back. So this is how you're supposed to do this boss. And in higher keys, people expect this. So Wretched Belch, he goes behind. Oh, he went way far, but he goes behind. That was a little... I don't like how far he rolled for that. So I kind of have to do a little bit of work here to make sure I have as much of it as possible. And he died for that. Like, he rolled way too far. But the whole game is, if you're ranged too, you need to stay somewhat close to the boss for this. Because if you get the Wretched Belch, you need to run behind the boss, drop the stack, or drop the worms, and then come back. It'll make this fight insanely easier. You won't have to worry about the worms. They can get slowed. They can get a binding shot, ring of peace. You can do so many things, and that's how you'd want to do it. So efficiency wise, even with that like double wipe pretty much, we're still looking great. So one thing we could do here, which I didn't think about this till after I did this key, you can grip that necromancer away, and then you can mind control the mage. I didn't do that here, but that would be the way to go about it if you're blood DK. You grip the necromancer away, and then you pull, or you mind control the mage so there's no frost volleys going on. That would be the way to do it. See, without Crimson Rune weapon, I'm just constantly like struggling for bone shield stacks, and that's because of the way I play. That's just, my brain has already been trained for it, and I'm trying to learn to be a very flexible tank, but it's hard when I've been playing Crimson Rune weapon like the whole expansion. Just, of course, we still have that buff going from the, if you didn't see, we grabbed the Kyrian buff, and then I pulled that big pull, and then I chained this in near the end because we want as much of that buff out as possible. If you can see from Kyrian weapons, it did 21k on that fight. I'm just going to stun it and run. So I'm skipping this guy. Sometimes I still pull this. On an inspired fortified week, I don't pull it. Like, that just doesn't happen. I don't do that. Alright. If you grabbed the orb, do not grab a weapon there. You will need the orb in the next pull or two. If you grab a spear there, your orb will be stuck behind the spear, and you'll be screwed for this big pull. Good Archie. Good old Archie. Alright. So if this guy wasn't inspired, again, pull the necromancer away and then mind control the mage so you don't get just free frost volleys going off. That is the play, and I didn't do it because I'm not good at video games. But that would be the play if you're blood DK on a week like this. Yeah, the guy wanted to pull the Boston with it, the lieutenant. Because he's inspired and the stuff was free casting, I didn't want to do it. If this wasn't inspired, I would have done it. If you pull this guy, make sure you are in the front. Make sure no one is closer to this guy than you are. Because if you don't, somebody will get chained in and auto attacked and just like, they're gonna get knocked on the floor pretty much. Especially in a 22. You need to make sure, you can't just pull it and then run backwards and hope he comes to you. It's not gonna happen. He's gonna grip the closest person to him. He's gonna grip someone all the way out from Narnia and just smack him. It's happened to Archie a few times because I wasn't the closest thing to him. So, I've talked about this play a bunch of times, and it is absolutely a must. If you can do this, it is absolutely a must. I'm gonna mute because they're talking. So, always say big pull. Like, let people know you're gonna do a big PP pull here, okay? And then I always tell them to kick the ranged. Yep, kick the ranged, please, because you want everything to converge to you. I still die in this one too. The gruesome cleaves weren't handled properly by me. So I got some stuff going on here. I'm gonna Icebound Fortitude. I'm gonna grab so I'm grabbing all of this, and then I use that orb that I had from earlier. Now I'm trying to get this to be out of everyone's way, but I guess see, that's what happened. Okay. You don't know how, and I haven't explained it. I tried to move to the side so that way those cleaves can happen away from me, or so no one's in them, but the warlock was standing right in front of them, so he was getting cleaved, and so my attention was cut over to him, trying to find a better way to like move, and I wasn't focusing on my health as well as I should have. So I could have lived that one, but the issue was me there. I didn't. Yeah. I got distracted by. I didn't want him to die, so I wasn't. My brain wasn't working well enough to know. Oh, just move over a little bit and keep death striking. You're good. So the inspired here was the mage. So best case scenario here, you just mind control that mage, bring everything in. If another one spawns, just bring it in and kick it. Make sure it doesn't go off the frost bolt volley. That one went off and it does a lot of damage. And then once it's dead, you can let him go and he'll just die too. People are very anxious on time, so I mean, he started attacking before I even was there. So in this key, when it comes to weapons, I accidentally grabbed that shield by the first lieutenant. That was an accident. So usually what I like to do is I like to grab the first spear. I like to combine adds in with the boss and spear through it. Tyrannical or fortified, I like to do it. And then I like to grab both the orbs. The first orb I use on that big pole to blow it all up and get it out of the way. And then I like to use the second orb upstairs. I try and do a big pull. Use the orb when everybody has cool. It's very important you make sure people have cooldowns. You can't just run in there after the first boss or after the second boss, go upstairs and then just like, you know, whip it out and be like, yo, look what I got here. You know, you can't do that. Like, you gotta actually make sure there's cooldowns, or else you're gonna use your weapon and it's not gonna die fast enough, and then you're gonna get tenderized and mutilated until you die. So I'm trying to see what's up here. I saw that he incapacitated that one, so I left it alone. I was trying to see if he was going to and which one he was going to get. But generally, when those pop up, I'm looking, which one am I gripping in? Like the farthest one away, I'm going to grip in. Or which one am I going to Gorfiend's Grasp? You know, like I might do a little. So here I'm even calling Mass Grip. Of course, when I'm tanking, I can't type properly. So I forgot an S in Mass Grip. I love Necrolord for this fight. Just Abomination's Limb and Gorfiend's Grasp is just so good for this fight. So I pull that one in, and then I Gorfiend's. I missed that one. Ooh, Jesse. Ooh. By the way, my name is Jesse. If you you just found that out about me. Yeah, it's pretty clean. We can. There's a few things we can do here, right? We can fear one. We can incapacitate one. I can mind control one if we really need it. You know what I mean? You know, I've been rewatching my old videos. I say, you know what I mean, 3 to 4 times in a key, maybe more. I don't know why. It's just one of the things I do. Or I say, hey everybody, this is Grixon, we've got a blah 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 key here, or I've got a blah 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 key here for you. Like, that's something I say all the time. I don't think I showed my gear or talents. Oh, you can see my talents in the top left, but I don't think I showed my gear on this one. And someone was asking about it in the last key, and I also didn't show my gear in that key. I don't know what's going on with me lately, but If you look up my Raider IO page, it's Grixin DK and the server is Tichondrius. You'll be able to see all the stuff I use. So I am far from... So I use the orb here because some of that stuff came in when I didn't want it to. This is not how I wanted this to go. But I mind controlled the Inspired and then just try to group everything up as much as possible. Unfortunate, the monk died, so our damage profile is not great. We did not have a bunch of cooldowns for this either. Actually, I think the monk used his cooldowns and then, you know, we just didn't have anything for this. So this was far more... This was very rough. I think I actually almost die here because I'm taking big damage already. And I used the shield, actually. I don't really know how much the shield helped. I think it did. But I'm getting hit hard. And if you look at my healing here, I think Archie saves my bacon. Where's the big heals he's talking about? There's a 31k heal. So he had some bigger heals, and then the Death Strike. I had a good Death Strike too. So he started just spam healing me. And I kept trying to bring out my pet, but when you have someone mind controlled, you can't bring out your pet. The best thing you can do is, I mean, not during the fight probably, but you can let go of your mind control, summon, like, bring out your ghoul, and then mind control again, and you will have both. You can do that. Yeah, a lot of time dead. Yeah, he's been spending a lot of time dead. I think in that part he started bursting a little too quickly. He probably got aggro. So you can do some fun stuff with this if you don't almost die. You can use that crafter to help kill the creation, and you can use it to help kill the... See, look how he's walking in front of Oros? So that crafter can hit Oros, and it does percentage-based damage, so it'll hit him, it'll chunk him pretty hard. If you can... If the DPS is good enough, they'll understand that when they get Throw Cleaver, or, what is it? Yeah, Throw Cleaver, that they can stand on the opposite side of the LT and do big damage to him with the Throw Cleaver. So there's a Throw Cleaver going on. I'm unsure what he was doing there. Maybe he made it work. I think Touch of Death just went out. I don't know. His health went down fast. Something hit. Good thing about Blood DK, especially if you have a healer who can do a lot of damage. I'm dumb right here. Look, I'm trying to. I'm like, oh, it's not working, because he's not an undead. He's a humanoid. So you can't mind control those guys, but he's the only one who actually does abilities. So this Inspired you can just disregard. Like, you can still kick him and taunt. You know, you can still do everything you need to for that guy. So this pack is never an issue with that. These stitch works are hard on Fortified for a DK. It's just such a big spike damage. I'm not sure how that mage died. Oh man. Struggling. That's a good link right there. That's a good spirit link. When somebody dies, the fight is so much longer, and you cannot afford it to be long as a Blood DK. Like, look, tenderizes. I'm taking 48% increased physical damage. So when he does mutilate, it's just chunking. If you're looking on the left, the types of hits I was taking is insane. Okay. I have my trinket up. I've got some options here on this pole. Yeah, I did trinket too. So this is This typically isn't too bad. People have a lot of cooldowns for this. There's a lot of minion like mobs in it, so people tend to just, you know, try and blast their way through it. But I care less about having cooldowns on this pack than I do on the ones with the tenderize. But is what it is. People are doing good damage. Yeah, cooldowns are definitely used there. Normally I like to pull that roaming pack with this one, because this one doesn't have a Stitch Flesh in it. See, I'm trying to run in front of him to soak that. So just trying to get them close together. The fixation is going to go off either way. This guy does a good thing. He just ice blocks so it stays still so people can burst it down. Trying to get them to throw flesh on each other. These guys are never really an issue for you as a blood DK. This part isn't that bad. You're just trying to make sure that people manage their arrows good, and if they don't, you have to soak it so they don't just get one shot. Yeah, it's a good question. How do I plan to do weapons? I think I can unmute this now. Yep. So yeah, we have a lot of weapons. We didn't use any weapons on the second boss. We only used one on the first boss, and then we used both orbs. So, you know, we're gonna use a spear on this boss, and then a spear on the last boss, and then also, you know, hammers and stuff. Tenderize to 24k. Mutilate's gonna do a lot. 49k.
I have nothing. Oh.
Big death strike right there. Big death strike. He was gonna spirit link me, but he died. So now he reincarnated, so he's still here. But yeah, this fight, stacks dropped, so I'm looking way better after the stacks dropped. But it is a hard. Fortified weeks are never easy for a tank, but this in particular is one of the hardest. Like, Necrotic Wake is kind of a joke. It's a very easy to time key because of all the weapons and how much you can pull at once. The only thing that's hard in this whole dungeon is up here. Is these guys who can tenderize and mutilate you. That's really it. The rest of the dungeon is not hard. The times I died was my fault. It wasn't like it wasn't like the content was too hard. It wasn't like the DPS weren't doing their job. Everything was fine. It's just I misplayed. You know, that's it. All you can do is look at these things and then learn from them and be like, okay, next time I need to do a better job at my targeting. I need to do a better job. You know, that, oh, I almost said, you know what I mean? I was very close to that one. That's all you can really do. So he needs to sneak in a quick drink. You know, they're going to be telling me to go. Because we're running low on time here. 6 minutes is pretty scary. But he wanted to drink. So look, they're jumping. They're getting nervous. Go. See? But they're not watching, like my crosshair here, my cursor. They're not watching his mana. They're not watching those kind of things. They just think I'm just sitting here like hanging out talking. But really, I was letting Archie get some mana back. I mismanaged this. I taunted, but I did not have aggro. I taunted and had aggro for a little bit, but then I lost it because I wasn't targeting him. I somehow switched back to the creation. So my targeting is an issue. I need to work on that quite a bit. And I don't know if that's making it way more visible in my plater of who my target is, or if it's getting more comfortable with tab targeting. I'm not sure. So having two of these ups is scary for a DK because they tenderize and mutilate you. So Stitch Flesh, two things need to happen. One of these needs to die ASAP, and Stitch Flesh needs to die. Like, Stitch Flesh would be the great one, but one of those creations need to go down. You know, I'm just taking big hits here. But we get it. 4 minutes and change is plenty to fight a fortified boss, especially when we have so many weapons left. So I just tell him pull a spear. You can have people spear and then taunt immediately. So he throws it, I taunt. That's how that works. I guess my Steam was up, huh? I was getting Steam notifications. That's funny. I normally don't have Steam up. I don't normally have programs just on if I'm not using them. So it's a rare moment when you see a Steam notification. So these ice shards you would think are magical. They're not. They're 100% physical. And they hurt. So a prot warrior loves this boss for that. Like ice shards. Oh no, that was my fault. I gotta heal up a bit here. So that was definitely a big mess up on my part. Grab a couple more health stones. So you can't really get good hemostasis charges out of this guy. So damage is going good. Carrying weapons have helped. I think we have a hammer. I don't know. Ooh. This guy has been getting hit by a lot of things. I generally do. So I would have let the lock just res him, but the lock was exiled downstairs, so I had to. I generally don't like to res when I'm on a boss that's hitting me hard, because I need all the runic power I can get, and it costs runic power to res. So I'd rather he do it if possible, but unfortunately he was the one that was exiled. And there it is. Plus 6 points. It's a good time. What did I get? Sanguine Depths 23 out of it. Seems like all my keys I apologize for my experience. Bro, you good. Alright. If you like the content, you know, if you liked it, please like the video. If you liked it. And yeah, you can, if you have any questions, if you want to see any, if there's a certain video you want to see next, please let me know. I read all YouTube comments, so you know, please feel free. All right, Thanks, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. And girls, if you're there.